Sorry, I think I'm allergic to credit because I lived in the Netherlands for so long. Despite having advantages, credit cards are not yet very popular among the Dutch. Only about 55% of the population actually has a credit card. And out of those 55%, 30% of them say that they don't find credit cards to be a reliable form of making a payment. Now, over the last couple of years, with the rise of online shopping and having online subscriptions, the number of credit card usage in the Netherlands has also increased. However, the country remains very debt averse and they prefer making payments by debit card, cash, or online bank transfer. Debt translated into Dutch is schuld, and schuld also means guilt. Therefore, you can see that there is this deep-rooted culture that debt equals guilt and nobody wants to be guilty. However, this is only one small part of why the Dutch are very debt averse. A bigger picture is the fact that they do tend to live a very humble life, very frugal life overall. Therefore, they do not even need to have credit cards in place. With that said, credit cards of course also have their own unique advantages. After all, they're widely accepted across the globe and you can easily make payments like your bookings, hotels, or any type of payment that you need to be undertaking when you are traveling abroad. Of course, if you have subscriptions like Spotify and Netflix, you will also be using your credit cards to be fulfilling these payments as well. Furthermore, all the purchases that you make with a credit card are actually insured towards theft, damage, or loss up to 180 days after you made the purchase. Also, don't forget, in the case of an emergency when you do not have cash at hand, credit card is a great way to actually have access to a form of payments. When you go to a Dutch bank and ask for a credit card, they're going to issue an investigation into your background via the Bureau Credit Registratie, or the Dutch registration for credit, to make sure that indeed you are eligible to have a credit card. And depending on the circumstances, your registration can and will likely be declined. This might even be the case if you're coming from a country where you've built up a wonderful credit score. However, in the Netherlands, this credit score doesn't have much meaning because the Dutch only care about the credit score that you have available within their country. Now, I'm aware that I'm explaining this with a smile on my face, but if you are actually applying for a credit card, there is a chance that it might get rejected, so do not get your hopes up too high. Insert story time. About 3 years ago, I applied for a credit card at my bank and I was very hopeful that I'm going to be getting one. And when they actually ran my background and did a credit check on me, they found out that I was actually not eligible to receive a credit card. And when I asked them the reason why, they told me that I don't have an extensive work background that is stable and I don't have a consistent source of income. This basically came from the fact that I changed jobs several times and therefore I was not able to fit into the Dutch version of having a stable income. Therefore, I was rejected from receiving a credit card. And about a year after that, I actually, during a trip back home to Turkey, did apply for a credit card, and I actually got a credit card within just a couple of hours, and it was even delivered to my house on the same day. And I guess the bottom line of the story is that the way each country approaches having credit and having a credit card is different. In the case of Turkey, because the country is very much built on credit, it's easier for you to get a credit card in some sense. And in the Netherlands, it's very much 180 degrees the opposite. Credit scores in the Netherlands are very, very different too. Like I mentioned, having a wonderful credit score back home is not really going to get you far. Here, the Dutch are concerned about you having a stable job and a stable monthly source of income for you to be eligible to have a credit card. If you do not fulfill this criteria, for example, if you've had multiple short-term jobs like I have, or if you have a short-term contract as opposed to a vast contract, then getting a credit card is going to be a lot more difficult. So in that sense, there is no such thing as building your credit in the form of borrowing money and then paying it back. This does not actually build your credit. Here in the Netherlands, what builds your credit is having that long-term stability. Now you might be asking me, but Gulce, I'm just now moving to the country. I don't have any history of work whatsoever. How can I get a credit card for myself? In that case, my best advice for you would be to actually hold on to the credit cards that you have back home. So in the case you need to use them in the Netherlands, you have them handy and ready to go, and you don't need to actually apply for a credit card in the Netherlands. However, if you are curious about the different types of credit cards that are available to you in the Netherlands, check out creditcard.nl, and there you also have an English comparison chart that you can go through and decide on which is the best credit card for you, and you can send in your application. Fingers crossed for you that the application is going to get approved so you can have your Dutch credit card to use in the country as well as abroad. As usual, if you found value in this episode, don't forget to gently hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. This is Making It in Holland, where I make videos about life, career, and starting a business so that you can actually make a life that you love living in the Netherlands. And as usual, until the next time, don't forget to stay awesome, and I will see you very soon.